I'll be using. You can either download it from here or on the server on these computers. I also made a folder called Senior Project 2, and I dropped the whole folder for you guys, okay? We're dealing with textures. That means you have to set your project to a particular folder that has those textures, right? Okay, that's why I have this whole folder for you guys. If you click on here, it's going to take you into my root folder with the 3D textures, the scenes, and the source images. Okay? If you go in here, you can take a look at the belt texture, the body texture. This is what we're creating. Okay? And we're actually going to take it through Photoshop. Okay, let's see if that opens up. That appeared for a moment and disappeared.
It ran away.
It ran away. All right. Well, I'll show you guys this whole process. All right. Now, if you go into the other folder of scenes, you're going to see a bunch of files for the modeling and 2 texturing files. Okay. So you can download everything you need in this folder. Although, if you, if you paint your 3D models in Maya, your texturing is going to get stored into this 3D paint textures folder. So that's also stored in there. All right. So going back to today's class, I've also created notes for you guys of all the steps we're going to take, because I know not everyone has a textbook. Okay, these notes we'll go over right now together. First, we're going to be done with modeling, and what do you do at the end of modeling to get rid of your input notes?
Delete history.
Delete the history, right? So you have a clean mesh, you save it as another name. Okay, always save in increments, so if you mess up, you have something that you can start out with that's not too far from the past. Okay, you set your project folder. You always set it when you're dealing with textures, correct? You're going to place a blend. Then we're going to map a UV layout JPEG onto the body. And what we're using for that is we're going to use a checkered map for this. Okay? When you get more and more involved, you're going to be probably using a checkered map with colors and numbers and so on. But we'll just use a checkered map to see the proportion of your pixels. We're also going to be using planar projections. That's going to be the main way that we're going to create the separate shells. Okay? We're going to separate the nose and the ears. We're going to separate the arms. And we're going to separate the overlapping UVs. Okay? And then I tell you guys what tool to use. Okay? So I'm going to actually print this out for everybody. How many people are here? Like 10?
42. 11. There's nobody missing, right? Yeah.
All right. And you're going to be using some cool shortcuts I'll go over. And then we're going to edit and paint in Photoshop. So we're going to do all of that and have everybody practice it before 6 p.m. Hopefully, it's going to happen. All right.
Hopefully, that's the attitude. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And this is actually really, really fun. So I'm going to go open up my file, and it is in Senior Project 2 ODA. I'm going to go in here, scenes, and let's take a quick look at what the last texturing looks like when you're finished with texturing, okay? So I'm going to do the first step, which is set my project, right? Okay, everyone know why I'm setting it, right? Set it to that folder, okay? And I'm going to press 6.
Go fuck yourself.
Because I set the project, now this blend's bringing in that texture. Yes? Because it knows where to look for it. Okay, so what we're dealing with here is we have, what shader do I have on this eyeball?
You said what?
What shader? It's called a ramp shader.
Yeah, that's
Remember? The ramp shader, right? Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to do that.
beach ball shade.
Also, I have this paint job. I did a little smudge here to show people how to do like asymmetrical painting in Photoshop. He's got like little bit of dots here. He's got like a pink ear, okay? And when you look at this feet, you'll see that he's got some white stuff, and then his toenails are kind of round, okay? Now, when I look into my UV texture editor, this is what it looks like. Okay? There actually are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shells, but actually there's 2 shells on this, 2 shells on that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 shells. We're going to separate them and we're going to lay it out. It's almost like ironing out your UVs into a 2-dimensional space. So then you can apply color and pixels to it.
You know, till this day, I
What?
don't get this shit.
Why you do it?
No,
Or-
I don't get why. It's not I don't get why you do it. I still never like understand this part of it.
That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. That's why they brought me from Japan to show you.
Suck the iron. They bring you from
They
Japan.
literally was like,
okay?
Oda, you come here.
You
I'm
chose,
kidding.
you chose to come here and then decided, hey, why not teach
Still, I
them while
know,
at it? Because
kids
Americans technically
like
suck at this shit. That's what
No, Americans don't technically. Anyway, Dennis is recording. So
See? Exactly. She couldn't even say it.
All right, so let me show you guys. Hold on. Let me show you guys another example of this,
That
which
is
gets
bright.
a little bit more involved.
You can't even see that.
So,
It's getting there.
I have a question.
yeah.
The UVs that you had, they were, since they're the same side, you had them just
It's really
shells
bright.
overlaid the other
Yeah, it's just like white.
shell.
Yeah.
You have to guess.
Did you say that again?
For the UVs that you had mapped out, you just had like both sides cut and then overlaid the shells on top of each other.
Just gonna
I
get to
don't
that.
think it even does that.
Basically. Okay, so this is a character called Meeper, and I'm gonna show you guys Meeper. Did I show you guys Meeper?
Is that the ugly one with the weird big mouth? The one that looks
Yeah.
like from the Chum
alien?
Chums?
That's from Chub Chubs.
Chub chub.
So check this
I
out.
knew he was from Chum Chums.
Okay? The better you are in Photoshop, the better your textures are gonna be. This
What you mean?
wrinkle right here, and this is like distortion or noise. Like you brush that noise in to get those like contrasty pixels, right? And all that paint job, like adding in the oranges, adding in the white, adding in the brown, the belly button right here, okay? The crotch area gets darker, right? Will
Why
Hey.
I get darker?
okay, let's bring in another mine here.
Why I can't get lighter? How you know he shade? He don't shade. What you say? That is so true. I just thought my roof had the same when I was younger.
I totally underestimated this first time.
I found it.
What's the one?
Did you just say Quasi did?
Okay, so check this out.
This mother. That is dope. You did this from scratch?
This is just using a color map. It's not even using those bumps, specular, ambient, incandescence, all that crap. It's only using the color map and it looks this good. Why? Because it's using Photoshop like a painter. Okay? You want to use a lot of Gaussian blur type of effects. You want to use a lot of, like, feather.
Everybody was touching to it.
Okay? You want to feather around and past those edges so it's seamless, but also that green better be the same green as around this edge and this edge. So when you put it together, it looks seamless.
I feel stupid. Where did those lines come from?
We're gonna create them now.
Yay.
Okay. So
In
you
Photoshop?
don't feel stupid.
No,
which
in
which
Photoshop?
lines?
In Photoshop.
No, it's a snapshot of the UVs.
Okay, so it's created in Maya.
Oh, okay.
And the way it's created in Maya is the process called UV layout. We're going to lay out the UVs. Okay, so what the hell are UVs? Well, you guys have been modeling using vertices, right? Push and pull of vertices, yes? Okay, well the vertices are pink and yellow. When you select UVs, they become brown. When you select them, they're green. They're placed on the same location as vertices. But their functionality is texture, 2D. So I'm going to make this clear to you guys as we go through the tutorial, okay? All right. So that's what we're going to get, and everyone's going to have this at the end. Trust me. This is one step easier than this guy. You see this? It's a little bit more involved, right? But same exact concept is applied. Isn't that exciting? Awesome. All right. So, Kevin, something you just didn't even understand, you're going to understand today. So, that's pretty cool. And for a lot of you guys, I mean, it takes a long time to even understand what the hell is happening. And then to apply it is one more step, right? So, here we are. This is the model that's done, deleted history, except this like smooth, soft edge, okay? That was all about this. If you have mirrored the half and merged it, sometimes you'll get this hard, sharp line down the middle. Or any new splits, it'll look like you just created this very sharp edge. So in order to get rid of that, you can do normals, soften edge. That's going to get rid of hard edges that's created by mirroring. Okay, so if you have a midline that's like super hard and visible, try doing the soften edge and it'll get rid of this hard line in the middle. It'll look smooth even though it's not smooth. Okay? So I'm going to undo that. Or I can just delete history. Alright, so I'm going to delete my construction history. Boom. Now I'm ready to go into texturing. Kevin, don't fall asleep.
Kevin sleeping?
Alright.
Never.
So, when I first create this character, the vertices are placed in the right places, but the UVs aren't. Right? I haven't dealt with the UVs yet. So what that means is this. I'm going to place a blend. Why? Because I like the specular of the blend. Okay? I'm going to use the specular of the blend that's diffused nicely to control the coloring of this dog. And I'm going to go into my color map, and for the time being, I'm going to place a checker on it. A checker is a checker, right? It's white and black. Okay? Now, when I select this body, I can't see it. Why can't I see it?
Press up to turn it on.
Press 6.
6.
Okay, so when I take a look at the UV texture editor, which you'll be in a lot today, you're going to realize that the checker is laid out like proportionately, right? The black and white are squares. Okay? Now, when I look at it on the body, though, what does it look like?
A lot of stretching.
He's wearing a swimsuit.
He's wearing suspenders.
It's
I
sort
was
of
gonna say
just
that.
working here. It's
She's
sort of
wearing
just
a
working here, but stretched out that way. Yeah, it looks weird. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Okay? The reason why is, let's just go into UVs here and grab a bunch of these UVs. Okay, I've grabbed like the whole tummy area, right? Okay, so just imagine this. All the texturing that's happening inside these faces are happening right in here. That's why it's gray, because it's taking this feathered area. Okay? Which means It doesn't have enough pixels. And it's all in one place. So even if I try to paint this, like take it in Photoshop and try to paint something, it's just, you have no control, right? No real estate for the texture. And you're going to be like, oh, I hate Maya. Okay, but it's, the
That's
reason
supposed to
is,
be me.
no, I wasn't looking at you, I was looking over there.
That was definitely supposed to be me.
Okay, so
That was
what
a good
we
impression,
want to do is we want to give each face healthy pixels. Okay? And then we can do whatever we want in Photoshop. We can do our magic in Photoshop, right? So for this model, I'm just going to bring that back. I'm going to actually project from this side, the first one, because this leg is pretty much going to be the same as this leg. This side of the face, I'm just going to say is symmetrical to this side. Now, if it's a Dalmatian with spots that are asymmetrical, I'm going to do a different UV layout. Okay, I'll do the front and the back separate. Okay, but for this dog, I'm going to do a projection from this side first. Okay, so how would I do that?
Switch views and put like the front view and select just the right side.
No, it's easier. It's easier than that, Eric.
And
I'm going to
just-
go to
just
planar.
project in the x-axis.
Yes. Project in the X. Boom. Now when I do that, notice what happens. Maya will think, okay, she wants to project this character onto this 0 to 1 2D image, this JPEG or TIFF or whatever it is. So it's going to try to maximize this character and just stretch it out. Now, that's fine, except do the squares look like squares?
No,
Yeah.
Stretch.
Yeah, it's rectangular. It's not square, right? It's stretched slightly.
A lot of weight.
Okay, but it's much better than before already. I'm actually going to scale down and move this guy to the side. Why? Because I want this area to do the other shell, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
That's how you use this thing.
Okay, so let's say I lose this shell, like manipulator tool. I'm like, oh no, I can't get it back. Well, it's the same as the extrude. You select your model, and then you go and select the polyplanar projection in the input node. If that doesn't call up your manipulator, then you press what? T. T, exactly. T. Okay? But now I can move this around and scale it and so on. Okay, that looks a lot more like squares. Okay? Now you don't want to do this. Because then your main character only has like 50 pixels. Right? You want to try to use up as much of the 2D image as possible. Maya's processing this like 1024 by 1024 pixels the whole time. Right? Because you've imported it, it's connected. If you're only using like, yay, itsy bitsy part, you're wasting all this other space. Alright. And you can click on and off your image here, so you can take a look at your shell. Alright? So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my ears, and I'm going to project from another axis. Okay? And I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to select my ears. I can select it using faces. I press 4, select it like this, select it like this, and select like this. Okay, that's like inaccurate, really. Or I can go into my front view and do the same thing, right? That might be a little bit faster. But that was pretty good. Okay, let's leave it at that. So I'm selecting the faces of the front and back of my ear. Okay? What axis do I project from? Z. Very good. Okay. I project. Now, when I look at it, it's going to look really weird. Okay? But But the way I know it's the correct axis is because this manipulator tool will lie flat against the best plane of the ears, right? So now I'm going to just bring this down and scale it down a little bit like that and move it. Now you're going to notice that you lost the other big character, right? Okay. Some people panic at this point. They're like, where's the other shell? Okay, but really, if you select the body, right, you select the object, you're going to see the two shells. Okay? The first shell has no ear. The second shell set has the ears. Now, are these two shells separate shells or the same shell? I mean, together or separate?
Together.
Together or separate? Well, if I go to... Oh, shit. Wrong move. If I go to the UV, select some UVs, and go to select the whole shell, that's separate from the other one. So they're actually two shells because they don't share an edge. If you even share one edge, Kevin, can you hold it down? All right. If you even share one edge, then you're going to be the same edge. I'm only helping you, all right? Okay. All right, so moving right along, let's do the nose. Okay?
Why aren't the ears in the first one? And you did the X, you projected in the X.
Hmm?
Why aren't the ears attached to the
Can't
first,
stay awake. It's too dark.
the first shell?
My eyes are burning.
Why aren't the ears attached to each other? Or to
Fucking
the,
hell.
To the top and
on this one?
So I'm trying to record without looking.
Because
at
I
the tablet.
projected it, and every time you project, you separate it.
So it breaks it up.
Yeah, it breaks apart the edges, the UV edges. So projection is basically creating new shells. You can do it another way, though. I'm going to show
My
you guys
neck
another
hurts.
way of doing it. You can split the edge.
My
UV
arms
edge.
hurt. My back
All right.
hurts. My eyes hurt.
Next, I'm going to do the nose, and the way I'm going to do it is this. Five.
I don't know.
Faces.
Oh, I got it. Don't touch the button. What do you want me to do? There. Stay there.
Okay, that was pretty good. I'm going to select all the faces, and there's actually one little face in here for this nose. I'm going to select that. And I'm going to also select this whole tucked in facial structure right here. Okay, there's an easier way to do that, but I just did it like that, so that's fine. Alright, and then I'm going to project from what axis?
Why?
If I did Y, it's going to project from over here.
Oh,
Yeah,
Z?
Z. Exactly.
So that's what
So if I go to Z, apply, look at my
Try to
nose.
balance it
Looks
on
cool. Well, it looks like that because the entire nose
It's gonna go
is
back.
picking up this entire image. I'm just going to scale it down.
Everyone does. It just doesn't go two ways.
It doesn't.
Well,
No, it's not like a phone.
it can,
I would have recorded backwards.
it can, but not. It's not ideal. Okay, don't be afraid to use this empty space or any of this space. That's like workspace. It's like Illustrator workspace. All right. So I'm going to put that nose there for now. Okay, your nose is right there, and then the last one I'm going to do is the arm. And in this arm selection, I'm going to show you guys a new. New shortcut. Okay, I'm going to go to faces. You can do UVs too, but I'm going to go to faces, and I'm going to select the same number of faces on one side and then on the other side. Oh, my reflection is turned on. Let's turn that off. Okay. I'm going to select the same number of faces on that side. Shift select. That's 1, 2. Shift select this side. There. Now, this shortcut's pretty cool. If you do a shift greater than,
Oh, those the faces.
Yeah, and you can do it with vertices and UV rings as well. It just increases your selection. Shift less than will decrease it. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the pretty much to the last ring of my arm. Okay, and yep, and I'm gonna project. Now, which axis do I project from?
Y. X.
Sorry, I didn't mean to point so close to your face.
The top of the hand and the bottom of the hand would be the Y axis. Oh. So.
Eric is right. It's the Y.
Who's asking?
I know. I was. I don't know why I was pointing at you. All right, so there it is. Now that looks pretty cool. When you take a look at it, it looks kind of crazy in there because it's stretched out. So you got to bring it down. Okay. It's important to make it look pretty much like the arm. What's going on? Okay, so how many shells is that? Those two arms. How many shells?
2 each.
4.
No, it's 2. So if I select some UVs and go to select UV, select shell, no, select shell, I can see that it's indeed just two separate shells. But if I go to the planar projection and press T, I can access both because that's the same projection. Okay, if that's confusing to you guys, don't worry about it. I'm just going to get it to be about that size. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shells, and I'm going to stop right now and let you guys get started. Okay? 2 arms, 2 ears, body, and nose.